Hey guys, welcome back to CarBuyer.com.sg. This is the new Mazda CX-30. Today we're going to show you in and around the car, and also we're going to tell you why this might actually be a luxury SUV for less than luxury money. A Mazda CX-30 is a small SUV. The concept is basically Mazda 3 on stilts. If you see in our Mazda 3 video, it'll tell you a lot of what you need to know about this car as well. The card is right here in the video. Click on that. So the new CX-30 is quite a keenly awaited vehicle for Mazda, and that's because Mazda has not had a small SUV of this size before. So you might be thinking, yeah, there is a CX-3, but the CX-3 is a compact SUV. That one's based on the current Mazda 2, so it's really quite small. The CX-5 is about the size of a Toyota Harrier, and maybe a little bit smaller than a BMW X3, to give you an idea of the size. So this one is really a lot more on point when it comes to the market, because of course small Japanese SUVs, the very popular ones that come to mind are the Nissan Qashqai, Honda HR-V, and on a lesser scale the Toyota CHR. So does this look like a handsome SUV to you? I'll leave you to decide it, but we quite like the looks. You got your typical Mazda styling, very sharp front end. Look at those headlights that are almost slit-like. And you know, if you take the top part of this car, it looks almost like it belongs on a sport coupe. And all the modern Mazdas look really good that way, very sleek, very athletic as well. If you wonder why, or if you wonder how Mazda gets this, how they do it using shapes to sculpt design shape, and then they make this into an actual car. We have insight into the process. We have a feature story on that. That's in the description below. Really interesting stuff of the Mazda design process, how it's really different from all the other Japanese car makers, and the effect is really visible in the cars themselves. Now you got the sculpted flanks along the side. Not sure if you can quite see this on the camera, but just like the Mazda 3, very athletic shapes. We have a contrast fenders, of course. That's a little bit of an SUV hallmark right there. Get you around the side. Look at the back. So one of the cool things about the back of the car is the very high-mounted tail lights. Looks a bit like the hatchback version of the Mazda 3. Another quite handsome car. Let's take a look in the boot now. Boot. This is an automatic tailgate. Has 422 liters of space. The standard car has 430 liters, 8 liters taken up by the Bose subwoofer and a spare wheel right there. So there's a bit more space in the standard car, the Elegance car. Okay, back seat of the Mazda CX-30. Not a huge amount of headroom, but a little cutout here for my head, the contour, so it's not too bad. Decent amount of legroom, not a lot of space, but it's pretty okay. 4 adults will fit. I think the middle row will be a bit of a squeeze. So 5 adults will be a bit of a squeeze, kind of just like a small hatchback. So really, a car like this, probably aimed at a family that would otherwise buy a small sedan or a small hatchback, but if they want a little bit more space. So at least there is an aircon vent here, and it's more airy and a little bit more spacious feeling than the hatchback version of the Mazda 3 in contrast. Okay, here's the inside. Start button right there. Startup sequence. Okay. Now the interior of the CX-30 looks vaguely similar to the Mazda 3, but a little bit of difference here and there. You have this curved panel right here, aircon vents at the side, aircon vents here, a little bit more of a contour there. Of course, we got our, you shut up, 8.8-inch widescreen infotainment display. So that's the same one as on a Mazda 3. Climate controls down here, aircon vents, another shelf kind of a projection here, and then everything goes underneath, just like the Mazda 3. So very similar to the Mazda 3, stuff that we've all seen before. And of course, we were very impressed by the Mazda 3 because of the improvement in quality, build quality of the car. And it's the same case here. So you just look at these buttons. Let's have a listen to them as well. Click, click, click. Oh, very nice. Let's look at that screen. Clear info display. Very smooth engagement of the buttons. So it really is quite obvious that Mazda has taken a leap forward in terms of quality and interior design and material choice. So one of the things Mazda actually told us about the Mazda 3, it's also true of this car, is that they went to some length to try and get all of the white lighting to be very, very uniform throughout the car. So that's another very interesting touch, a very luxurious touch that you won't usually find on cars in this price point. So, and another thing we really like is the infotainment system. Yeah, click, click, really nice. Let's just scroll through for you. And a number of things that you can find on the Mazda CX-30 you won't be able to find on cars costing a lot more money. So let's just take a look at the safety features, for instance. So this is the most expensive variant. That's the luxury version, and it has all the trimmings. So 10 grand less gets you the Elegance version, which is the mid-tier spec. Let me look for you. Safety settings. So Mazda's active safety system is very, very comprehensive. It has pretty much everything you want from a modern safety system. Radar cruise control, very useful on the highway. It's not the smoothest engaging system, but it does work very well. You can use this button to change the distance between the car in front of you. So we just have a little demo of how it works right here. Cruising along the highway, you just touch the button, you follow the car in front of you. Accelerates a little bit abruptly and brakes also a little bit abruptly. It's not a totally stop and go system, so below 30 kilometers an hour it doesn't work. You have to stop yourself. But common for adaptive cruise control in this price range. So there's also, as you saw, driver monitoring. So check to see if you are getting tired. Safety alerts. Alright, front cross traffic, rear cross traffic, lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring. And one thing about the blind spot monitoring we like really a lot is that the active display here, it shows you all the time when you're driving who is in your blind spot, if there's a car there, even if you're not using your signals. So that's very good for situational awareness, something very useful for an urban driver. Okay, active safety, lane keep, that keeps you in your lane. Collision avoidance, mandatory in Europe to get a 5-star NCAP rating, and I think every car should pretty much have it as well. And of course, another really cool feature of the Mazda CX-30 is the surround view camera. So try finding that in a car costing less than 150 grand. Okay, short sum up of how the car drives. You know, Mazda usually drive better than the typical Japanese brands, the mainstream brands, and in this case it's true. The CX-30 is quite agile, it's quite pleasing to drive. It has 165 horsepower, quite a lot of acceleration, 0 to 100 in 9.3 seconds. It is pretty quick. So because of that, and because of the price, I think it's easier to look at the CX-30 as an alternative to luxury SUVs like the BMW X1, maybe even the Audi Q3, because you've seen the kind of features that this car has and the kind of things it can do. Really, you're looking at what feels, drives, and behaves like a luxury car without the luxury car price tag, which brings us, of course, to the price. It's 128 grand for the most expensive one. That is quite a lot for a mainstream car, but like I said, if you look at it from the point of view of you're driving a luxury car for less money, then it makes total sense. Of course, you can have 10 grand less and get the Elegance version, which simply doesn't have the safety system but still has a lot of equipment on board. Then you're still getting pretty good value for the money. And then of course there's the lower grade one that is the standard model, I think, and you get things like, you know, non organic leather. You get synthetic leather on the interior and stuff like that. So how do you know the difference? This is the luxury one. It has the brown trimming here. We have the white leather, but you can choose black, you can choose blue. The Elegance and standard models have a blue liner, and you can still choose the leather, but yeah, that's just one difference between the three models. You know, 2-liter engine, and being priced more than 110 grand, you know, it's pushing the CX-30 a little bit out of mainstream territory for some people. In contrast, you know, the HRV costs 100 grand for the highest spec one, if I am not wrong. But another good rival to this is the CHR, which costs more than 120 grand, pretty much the same price bracket as the CX-30. So hopefully we've summed up the CX-30 properly for you. We have the review on carbuyer.com.sg. Would you buy one? Would you not buy one? Let us know in the comments. If you found this video useful, please like, please subscribe to carbuyer.com.sg, and we'll have more reviews for you in future.